Ladies and gentlemen, how about them? No, not Cowboys. How about them? No, not even the Browns, even though they had a good game yesterday. How about them Panthers? That's Lenny's team right now. We're gonna get a little bit more into it.
Not a chance.
Dude, you're loving them right now.
I'm
you are really loving them.
I am.
I know you are. Well, give us a little bit of an intro, and then we can get straight into this awesome show that we have today.
Welcome back to the Highly Debatable Sports Show. We have Matt Wright back as our co-host. Hopefully this becomes a weekly thing, depending on our busy schedules, but we're going to make it work.
We're going to make it work.
We're passionate about the NFL.
Yes,
we like to do the show. We like to have fun, talk about interesting topics regarding the NFL.
Amen.
Week 2 is about to finish up tonight with Monday Night Football. Lions versus Packers. Lions pulling off the upset.
You got Lions in this one?
No, I don't. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm giving the people something to talk about.
Okay.
I am. Just giving them something to think about. But today we're going to cover some interesting topics regarding Week 2.
Yep.
What's a team that has surprised you this week, Matt?
Man. I'm going to go with the team that I said you're pulling for, and I'm going to say the Panthers. Man, I really doubted them. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes,
I really doubted them. I said the Panthers are gonna be no different than Sam Darnold and the Jets were. I mean, he's still trash. He's still bad. He's still gonna play bad.
No,
he's stepped up. He has absolutely stepped up, and I'm surprised. And their defense, man, their defense stopped James Winston. Dude, they put an absolute halt on Alvin Kamara. That man could do nothing. They had zero run game, zero passing. Honestly, James Winston got in there. He ran one in. Don't think he had that great of a game compared to the game that he had last week. I was talking to someone, and I was like, this surprises me almost as much as him throwing 5. How do you throw 5 touchdowns but at the same time have 179 yards?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So the Panthers surprised me. I think if they get another win this upcoming week, I think they're going to be a pretty good contender in the NFC. And another team that surprised me is the Broncos. I think that they can start this season with going 3-0. I don't know if that's a schedule thing, and they've just been playing some pretty bad teams the first 3 weeks. But Broncos, I think we got to watch out for them too. But other than that, what about you, man? Who surprised you?
I would say the Panthers, but they didn't really surprise me because this is a team that I picked as kind of my dark horse, quote unquote, pick to have a great year. I think Sam Darnold had a bad rep back in New York because the Jets. I mean, when have we seen a successful Jets quarterback from like the year 2005 on? I mean, Mark Sanchez had a good year, had a good year once, but I mean, we see what happens with him, and it's something we both agree on. We both think Zach Wilson is an excellent young quarterback, but look how bad he looks in that Jets offense, and
I feel so bad for him, bro.
It's a plague, honestly.
They're kind of like the Browns of this era. Like the Browns used to be like, you just go in there and that culture is a curse. I mean, you see Johnny Manziel went in there, cursed. Colt McCoy, straight from an amazing tenure at Texas, he goes in there, cursed. So I think the Jets are that new team where it's like, bro, anywhere but the Jets. Anywhere but the Jets. And they just got a culture right now that's like, yuck, you know?
Yeah. But, I mean, I think Sam Darnold, he showed some flashes in the Jets offense, and I think Zach Wilson will too. But until the Jets fix something, I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, they've got a new coaching staff this year, so I think their fans have some high hopes going into the future, but Sam Darnold in this new Carolina offense, he's got I mean, Christian McCaffrey, the best receiving back in the league to throw to whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
He's got Robbie Anderson, his old Jets teammate. We talked about it in last week's show.
Last week, yeah.
DJ Moore is an excellent receiver.
That kid, holy crap. Everyone was talking about, don't start DJ Moore this week in fantasy. And the kid still balled out, bro. Like, he still had a great game.
But I think a team that really surprised me, and this may sound kind of odd, but the Colts. And it's weird. It's not like
I was going to bring them up. I
wouldn't say that their offense necessarily surprised me. I think their defense did a decent job of like
containing Matt
bleeding. Yeah.
Stafford. Yeah.
And Stafford still had an excellent game. Don't get me wrong. In the Rams,
he still balled out.
Yeah, they still move the ball with ease, but
that team,
Carson Wentz and Jacob Eason are both. I mean, Wentz is definitely the better option, but we saw some flashes from the Colts. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. probably had, I would say, the second biggest game of his career behind last year's game against the Titans. He put up over 100 receiving yards. So I think he can be.
Had
another touchdown.
Another touchdown. I think he had about 58 yards receiving. Yeah. And he had a good – I mean, all these players that are coming in for the Colts offense are backups. I mean, they have like 2 wide receivers that are main wide receivers that have been hurt. But, I mean, they're still excellent. I mean, I think that the Colts line looked insanely good. Aaron Darnold was contained pretty well. I mean, he's still going to get his. I mean, he's one of the best players on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL.
He's the best.
I think there's another person on that team that can take that away from him this year.
Yeah, possibly, but
we can get into that. We can get into that later. But I mean, the Colts offensive line. I mean, I think that's the most room that Carson Wentz has ever had to just stand in the pocket, step up, and make throws. There was one play when Quentin. There's one star offensive lineman.
Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson. Yes, thank you. It was on the tip of my tongue. I just couldn't get it out. Quentin Nelson had no one to block because the Rams were kind of like falling back, and he just knocks this guy over, and it gives like the biggest hole I've ever seen Carson Wentz get through. He just steps up, makes a throw downfield, and sets up a scoring drive for him. And I mean, that's something that I think is amazing and did surprise me too. I mean, the Colts' offensive line has been hyped up for a little while, but I haven't really seen anything from last season or week 1. And I think this was probably the best game that the offensive line had. So, I mean, I like that pick. I don't think it's weird. I think it's good. I think they have the pieces together to be okay. But this was something that I was going to try to get our way into, and you brought it to a good segue, is Carson Wentz. Another injury.
I almost feel bad for the guy because
I feel so bad for him.
Yeah. Look what he was able to do within his first 3 seasons in the NFL. I mean, took the Eagles to the playoffs a couple times, went down with some very unfortunate injuries. I mean, Nick Foles took over, won the Super Bowl.
That's such a good story.
It is. But that entire season and run was set up by Carson Wentz's play. I mean, he was 100%. MVP level. And then he just kept getting – yeah. And I think what was the downside to the injuries was limiting his mobility. Because if you look at him, he's a big guy. He's probably about 6'5", and he's
huge.
When he came into the NFL, he was a somewhat mobile quarterback. I mean, he can run. He could extend plays with his legs, and that's something that the Eagles really needed in their offense, and I think it's something that the Colts wanted in their offense because, I mean, their past few quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett, somewhat mobile. I mean, Andrew Luck actually was
Andrew Luck mobile, had to be – he had to be mobile. He had to run all over the place.
Yeah. But Carson Wentz, I don't think he's got it anymore. Maybe he still has the arm, but I don't think he's ever really had the decision-making. And now that he can't really run as much as he used to with these injuries, I think he's kind of just meh. He's a very, like, low-end quarterback nowadays. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't
I'm
think
going to
Jacob
show
Eason's
the list
an option
of
either.
do what?
I don't think Jacob Eason is a good option either.
No.
So,
Like you
Colts
said,
are in for it.
he had some flashes yesterday of being able to like get the ball down the field. But we were talking about injuries, and I wanted to show the Colts. Frank Wright said that he rolled it pretty bad, and he's going to have to go under some tests before a crucial 3-week matchup against Tennessee. I mean that's pretty rough. Another very, very important injury. Andy Dalton. Dalton left in the first half with an injured ankle. Tried to come back and play, but ultimately left again just before that. I saw this morning on ESPN that it might be an MCL tear, so Justin Fields might be the guy the rest of the year.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hope that he can step
do
up
something.
Because yesterday, from what I saw, I mean, he can get out of the pocket, but the thing that you find out as a mobile quarterback when you come into the NFL is you're going up against linebackers who are on
that are just as fast as you.
Yep. They're just as fast as you. Some of these guys played like running back up until college. You look at like Miles Jack for Jacksonville. I mean, that guy played running back and linebacker at UCLA. So did Eric Kendricks for the Vikings. But you have nowadays in the NFL to be a starting linebacker, like to drop back into coverage and stuff, not like a pass rushing linebacker, not like a Khalil Mack or an edge rusher, but to be like a true linebacker. You've got to be able to run like a 4.4 to 4.7 40, and you got to be able to chase down these quarterbacks. Dude, so Justin Fields, I pray that he doesn't have the same fate as someone like RG3.
Yep.
But I think that he might.
It's amazing that Lamar Jackson hasn't gotten hurt yet, as much running as he does.
It is. I think he's tough.
He is tough. Broncos, Bradley Chubb, Josie Jewell. I mean, not really star player. Well, I mean, Bradley Chubb is, but like nothing really. We already talked about the Colts. Dude, we were texting yesterday during the Browns game. I almost had a heart attack when I saw Baker holding his arm, limping off to the sideline. Oh, dude. But he played the rest of the game, only had 2 incompletions after that, and he balled out. I didn't like – go ahead.
I think it was on his non-throwing arm, though, is where he got hurt. I think it was his left arm. So,
dude, he put a hit on the guy that caught the interception, though.
He did. And Baker's tough, and he's got tenacity, and he's always going to play that way. But
always. It makes a good quarterback and a good leader.
He does not want Baker Mayfield doing that ever again. Never again.
No. I don't either. I love it. I love it. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you are like the piece to this offense other than Nick Chubb. You got to stay healthy. I think Case Keenum can get in there and do a good job too. But, I mean, I'd rather have Baker. And then the big one, we are already without a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL for the Browns, and that's OBJ. And now we have Jarvis Landry out with a knee injury. His first catch of the game was great. He just got hit wrong, and he landed wrong, and hopefully he is not out long. The only thing that I heard from yesterday was that he's going to get more tests and an MRI. So hopefully, fine. Prayers out to him. Hopefully he won't go out long. And hopefully our boy Schultzy can step up. Schwartz,
no, he won't. He's got burners, but he doesn't have the route running or the physicality that he needs.
No. I think the last one that I think that he's fast enough, but I mean, Donovan's Peoples-Jones, he's good, but the one that stepped up yesterday in place for Jarvis, my boy Higgins. Rashard Higgins.
Yeah. He trains with him in the offseason. So, I mean.
Yeah. He's getting the same reps. They're all getting together.
Tight. Yep.
All right, man. I think the last one, and this one, I hate to say the most exciting, but it's the most exciting because something crazy is about to happen, I believe. Tua Tagovailoa got carted off the field after a hit to his ribs, and this says that the x-rays came back negative, but if he's like super hurt and can't play for a while, I'm looking right here to see if Deshaun Watson is going to make a move to get to the Dolphins.
I was waiting for it. I was thinking that yesterday. It's something that a lot of people aren't talking about, but they were talking about before the season started.
Yeah.
It just depends. I mean, the Texans are wanting a lot for Deshaun, which I get, because with Deshaun comes a lot of publicity, negative publicity that you don't want for a team, but you're getting a great player. And I hate all the off-field stuff that's going on around him. And I think that it might plague him. I don't know if he'll ever really have a normal season again in the NFL. Something that you don't want to see. Such a bright young star in the NFL, and then just ruins it with off-field stuff like usual. So
sucks, but hopefully best for him, best for the whole legality situation with all that. And then I think the only other one that I didn't show, but I mean, is to be mentioned, is Tyrod Taylor, because we're talking about the Texans right now.
Yeah.
That poor guy. He comes out, he's balling. He is leading his team, bro. He looks like a star quarterback. I mean, he is. Everywhere he's played, he's done well. And hamstring injury. And Davis Mills comes in and help the boys out. But, I mean, thoughts and prayers out to Tyrod too. But, I mean, other than that, I think those are the biggest injuries. We wanted to kind of do an update from yesterday. And I think that's all from my side of the update and injury update. Other than that, I don't really have any surprising teams. And I think that so far from last week, my picks were 10-6. So I'll reevaluate week 2's predictions tomorrow, and we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I love picking the games. I've been pretty close. The only game that I think I picked wrong might have been Vikings Cardinals. I might have picked the Vikings as an upset, but I think I picked the Cardinals because I honestly think that the Cardinals, Kyler Murray is one of the number one quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
He's so good. I mean, it's unreal what we're seeing.
Dude, and we said it last week, and I watched the Cardinals game yesterday, and I watched the Ravens and the Chiefs game yesterday. And the one thing we talked about last night is that Lamar gets stale and old. I mean, he's faking the handoff, tucking and running. There's no pizzazz. We said last week that Kyler Murray is just a better Lamar. And Kyler Murray runs all over the place, but guess what?
Yep.
He still gets the ball downfield.
I mean, I'm done making comparisons of Kyler to other players. I think he's in his own lane right now.
Kyler Murray is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Of the best.
His first touchdown yesterday to Hopkins. I mean, he got the snap, took off right, like bounced off of his O lineman, did like a 360, and like evaded probably 3 or 4 defensive linemen, and just threw on the run like a crossbody, dropped it in perfectly to D-Hop. And it's something that we don't see a lot. I mean, nobody's extending plays like that.
My opinion right now, he has 1 interception that was a pick 6. The only interception he has so far. It's only week 2. You're going to have some mess ups, okay? He's an MVP candidate, in my opinion. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%, dude. Dude, he had that one throw yesterday where he just evaded everyone and then just chucked it down the field to Rondo Moore. And he's a sleeper.
Rondo Moore?
Dude, he's only on like 17% of teams, on fantasy teams.
I think he came out of Purdue. If I'm not wrong, he came out of Purdue. But the thing with him is he's only like 5'7". And
they might be the shortest team in the NFL.
I mean, he is a speedster, and that's all he needs. I mean, I guess he's tough, and his brother is actually a rookie receiver for the Jets too.
Rondell
Moore's brother is the Jets. He was a pretty decently high pick in the draft.
Oh wow! Did not know that.
I don't remember his name. Rondell and I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, it was like the first pair of brothers that have been drafted in the same draft or something like that in a couple of years. But it's pretty cool to see, and they're both studs. Like they're both built the same. They're both super fast, really tough.
Yeah, they're freaking studs, dude. Holy crap! And it was a 77-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and if you look at it, Kyler threw it on the run, threw it kind of to the sideline. Rondale Moore came back to it, caught it, turned around, and still got up the field to score. Just like that. It was easy.
Dude, in our league, where like I have like all like the different settings like crazy.
Yeah.
Rondale Moore had 85 points. And he was on my bench. I didn't play him. ESPN said that he was going to be a bust. He said he was going to be a bust.
You don't listen to those guys.
I'm gonna show everybody this play really quick, and then we can get on to the top 5.
Yeah.
But man, we were just talking about this freaking play. Can you see it right now?
Yeah, it's popping up.
Okay. Dude, look at this. This is insane. Evading, 2 sacks, 2 more players, chucks it down the field wide open.
Look at that block.
Christian Kirk.
Super good receiver as well.
Yep. 77-yard touchdown.
That's legendary.
Dude, I just wanted them to show it again. Look at the fans going crazy. I think this was probably the best game other than the Ravens and the Chiefs game. From the Ravens and the Chiefs games was electric from the very start. But this game right here was insane. Okay, they're getting ready to show it from a different angle. Look at Kyler Murray. Lamar Jackson can't do this. Lamar Jackson can evade it, and then he can run, but I don't think he has the arm talent to get this ball down the field, 77 yards.
Mm-hmm. No, cross body like that?
No, not
both
a chance.
Feet off the ground? No, that's impeccable. Look, Patrick Peterson got burnt by his old team. Just burn him. And I think the Cards have probably one of the fastest striking offenses in the NFL right now. I mean, they don't they'll bore you to sleep with like 2 runs, and then they'll just bomb you. Kyler will just stretch a play out and just bomb you deep.
He's just so good. He's just so good, man.
And that's a trend that I'm seeing out of a lot of teams right now is what I call, as a Madden player, we call them broken plays, where you hike the ball and you're getting rushed really fast, so you got to get out of the pocket and take off running, and then a wide receiver will have to break off his usual route and try to find an open hole in the zone, and quarterback just hits him, and it's a big gain every time.
You're exactly right, bro.
Look at that.
That happened in the Chargers game. We talked about it with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I mean, it's happening all over the NFL. I mean, what you name the team, the wide receiver's doing it, trying to get through. The only team that's not happening.
Look at the Travis Kelce touchdown from last night. Mahomes rolling out of the pocket to the right, throws back across.
Yep.
Kelce catches it for what should have been a 3-yard gain, and then scores like a 50-yard touchdown.
46-yard touchdown.
Or the one where Lamar Jackson like jumped over his offensive lineman and threw it deep.
Yeah.
I mean, that
jump pass was sick too.
It was. That was nasty.
Dang. See, I could just talk about the little things in the NFL for hours. But I mean, our next topic is the top 5s. I've been at least thinking about this all week. Do you want to go first or me go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
I've been talking all day, so you go ahead.
I'll go ahead and shout out our sponsor, Powerade.
Powerade, yeah.
You can go ahead and grab Powerade Zero. It's a great drink, hydrates you, get your mind going for the podcast or whatever you need it to be going for. But yeah, not actually our sponsor, but in the near future.
Hopefully,
we need to have our PR team talk to Powerade about that.
Yeah.
But on to the top 5, and we're just going to cover probably skill positions, and then as a collective,
I've got on
my
sheet, I have wide receiver, QB, tight end, running back, O-line, safety, defensive back, and then D-line.
Yeah. I kind of just grouped up safety and corners into one.
We can do that. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just go like one position at a time. I'll go ahead and show my quarterbacks. I've got my paper over here.
We going back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay.
My number 1 is, I mean, there's really no other option. Patrick MAHOMES. I mean, kind of. What's yours? What's your number one?
First of all, I just want to say Patrick Mahomes is a great option.
You didn't.
What?
You didn't pick him, did you? You didn't put him on, did you?
I did not put him on.
Oh gosh.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I love Patrick Mahomes. Okay, we just talked about it last week. I was talking about it to my dad last night. Patrick Mahomes in September, before last night, was 37-0 in September games. He's thrown 34,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Okay, 0 interceptions in all of September, undefeated, 30-some games for 5 seasons. But I am going with Tom Brady. His QBR, his QBR right now is 117.8 for the year. Yesterday, he threw 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Hey.
So on the year, his TD to interception rating is 9-1. He threw 4 TDs in the game versus the Cowboys on Thursday night. He threw 5 yesterday. Okay.
He's the GOAT.
He had about 400. No, he had like 386 on that Thursday night game, and yesterday he only had like 279. So he's rounding out about the 500 yards over 2 weeks. His completion rating right now is insane. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's 80s, 70s, 80s.
He is insane. Like, the amount of time that he has in the pocket.
It's the pocket presence, really. He's got time because that offensive line is really insane, but it's also the fact that he's been around for, I think this is probably year 22 for him, I think.
This is year 22, and he is still as good as ever.
Yeah, and he knows how to move in the pocket. He's got a presence about him where he can just step up in the pocket. I mean, he knows it's like a sixth sense for him that if he's got a D end coming at his back, he just steps up every time. Like it's second nature to him.
I got the stats wrong. I got the stats wrong. He has 2 interceptions, and he does have touchdowns right now. He's in the lead for 9. His yards right now is 655. So he's almost at 700. But I mean, we can argue back and forth. We can debate back and forth. Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. As long as Tom Brady is in the NFL, he is going to be the number 1 quarterback. If you can look at your offensive coordinator and say, "No, I know what play I'm running. I don't need your help right now. I need to go down here and win this game by yourself." He's a coach. He's a coach on the field. Patrick Mahomes can do anything. He can lead his team back just like Tom Brady can. But Tom Brady is a coach, is a Hall of Famer on the field, and as long as he's in the NFL, that's how it's going to be. And look, I know you're smiling because you know I'm right.
No, bro. Right. No. Listen.
Okay.
Listen. This has to encompass top 5 at every position. Encompasses everything. Encompasses I don't know. Like I think the beauty of Tom Brady and what makes him so good is he's not everybody says Tom Brady's a system quarterback. You could say that, and he fits wherever he goes. I mean, he fits into their scheme because they build their scheme around him.
It's hard not to.
I don't think you could just place Tom Brady on a team like the Dolphins or somebody that doesn't have as good of an offensive line, and he's not going to eat like he does on the Bucs.
True.
But if you put somebody like Mahomes in that offense, I mean, he's still throwing 40+ touchdowns because that man has the mobility.
True.
And the arm talent to make plays. And Tom's still got a cannon. Don't get me wrong. He's got a rifle on him.
He still has the fastest release time out of the quarterbacks too.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
That's
you've got Patty Holmes, and I've got Tom Brady. Okay. Running back next.
Are we gonna do running backs, or you want to finish off our top 5 at the quarterback?
Oh crap! I forgot. I thought we were just doing one.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'll just burn through the rest of my top five real quick.
go ahead. I
So
mean, they're going to be similar. They're going to be similar.
yeah,
Go ahead.
my number two is Tom Brady. After all that debating, my number two is Tom.
Yeah.
My number three, Russell Wilson.
Still up there. Yeah.
Yep. Number four, I think he's getting a lot of negativity from week one, but Aaron Rodgers. I mean, take it for what you want. He had a bad game. Everybody
He's
has
still certified.
games.
He's still certified.
He's still got an arm on him. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. Number five, you could pretty much put several different guys in here. I mean, this season, Derek Carr is probably a top five quarterback this season in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I've got Josh Allen because I think this encompasses more than just week 1 and 2 of the NFL. I think
he stepped up this week.
Over from last year as well. Yeah, he's a big guy. Makes the throws that you need him to make. He can get out of the pocket, whatever you need him to do, really.
Are you ready for mine?
For the rest of yours? Yeah.
All right. So obviously, Tom Brady, number one. Number two, Patrick Mahomes. You gave a good encouraging message to me about good old Patrick. So I'll put him at 2. Number 3, as of right now, I think I got to go with Derek Carr. Yeah, my top 5 is from 2 weeks. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, that's
fair.
My
top 5 is from 2 weeks.
Kind of feeding over from last year a little bit.
But. That's fine. But yeah. I'm doing mine from the first 2 weeks, and I got Derek Carr. He has absolutely, and we're going to get into this later. But he's led his team. He's led his team twice in the end of the game to get the job done. I've got him up there. I also have at number 4, I have my guy Kyler Murray. He is leading this team. I think that their offensive line is sus, and at the end of the year, at the end of the year, it's going to cost them not going far in the playoffs. They're going to play a defense that's going to be battle ready and hardened, get pressure, and that's going to cost them when they get into the playoffs. And then number 5, I like to go Josh Allen.
Oh, dude,
I got Baker.
Where's the exit meeting button at? This guy is on here. I mean, if you guys didn't know, Matt's basically like the Hurricane Hayes Valley, like West Virginia version of Max Kellerman.
Oh my Lord! Don't ever give me that ever again. But no, listen, I love my boy Baker. Yesterday, he had 2 incompletions after the interception. Okay, he went out there, he balled. The first week versus Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, who've been back-to-back Super Bowls, he went out there and he balled out. I don't care what you say.
Listen,
he went out there and balled. He only had 6 incompletions in the whole entire game. He had over 300 yards. They're a run-heavy offense, but when he needs to ball out and throw the ball, guess what? He balls out, throws the ball. He's got a cannon. And yesterday, oh crap, Myles Garrett, okay, from the Browns said Baker Mayfield is Brett Favre 2.0. He's better.
That's a stretch.
He's better.
Dude, what?
No, hey, that was Myles Garrett's word.
That
was Myles Garrett's word, not mine.
Did you say he's better than Favre?
He's going to be better than Favre. Yeah. He will be better than Favre.
That's great.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we just got our thumbnail. I think we just got our thumbnail. No, Baker Mayfield, if he's better than Brett Favre, then I will literally, I don't even know. I'll do something crazy. I will
get a tattoo. Get Baker Playmaker tattooed on your arm.
I will stand on the corner of the street with a Baker Mayfield jersey on and a sign saying, Baker is the GOAT.
Amen. You said
if he ever surpasses Brett Favre. But that's never going to happen.
He will.
Because it's Brett Favre.
Dude. Don't get me wrong. Brett Favre is one of the GOATs. He's one of the GOATs at quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
I think Baker's got it, though.
He used to break his receiver's fingers.
Yeah, so does Baker Mayfield.
Probably. I mean, Baker does have a cannon. Don't get me wrong. And I like Baker. He's my starter in fantasy. So I obviously have to root for him. Because I know you do. Points.
Come on now.
the upside of Baker, I think he's got potential to be a Brett Favre type quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to surpass Brett Favre, but what? Gee, Chris, somebody get this man a map. But Baker throws little to no incompletions. Yesterday, he threw 2 incompletions through an entire game, through 20 plus passes. I mean, that's hard. That's hard to do in the NFL.
Talk to me.
Really hard to do. And
talk to me.
His touchdown numbers aren't up right now because the Browns offense isn't like a beat you over the top type offense. They're gonna run the ball right up the gut. They're gonna make some passes, get down to the 10-yard line, and they're gonna run it 3 times in a row with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And they're obviously gonna get touchdowns off of that because either way, I mean, Nick Chubb is a top 5 running back in the NFL, and Kareem Hunt, if you put him on another team, he's a running back 1. Kareem Hunt's a running back 1 on any other team that he's on. So I don't know. I think they play smash mouth football. Kevin Stefanski's got a really, really good program over there, but I think Baker doesn't care. Yeah, he doesn't care about getting his touchdown numbers up because he loves that team so much.
He loves to win. He is more interested in winning football games than he is about stats, money, anything. That's why he hasn't negotiated a new contract yet.
Yep.
He said we'll worry about the contract after this season when we win the Super Bowl.
I can put Baker top 7 in my list, but
whatever.
He's not the next Brett Favre.
All right, let's do running backs. Okay, running backs. Let's speed through them.
All right, my number 1 running back, King Henry.
The King. He came back this week.
I mean, it's unfair to have a 6'3" running back who's probably close to 6'5" with cleats and pads and all that stuff on that can run a 4.4, 4.3, 40-yard dash
and run the ball down your throat.
Just put a hand in the middle of your chest and just absolutely toss you 5 yards and then run another 40 yards after breaking another 3 tackles.
Yeah.
So not much else I can say about Derrick Henry. He's the best in the business right now. But my number 2 is Christian McCaffrey. He's having I don't know, it's not a slow start to the season, but
I don't think it's slow.
It's a consistent
I just think that
start.
He no longer is the only piece to that offense.
Yeah, I agree.
They're spreading the wealth around. That's why it's kind of like he's not getting those big numbers like he's used to getting.
And he's still getting about probably 120 all-purpose yards a game, which is really excellent. I mean, that puts him on pace for
that's crazy.
Close to MVP season again.
Yeah.
But at number 3, I know he got shut down this week, but Alvin Kamara, that dude is
just like we said about Aaron Rodgers, 1 game.
Yeah. I'm really big on Alvin Kamara, and I have been since I mean he was an Alabama recruit, went to Bama for a season, then transferred to Tennessee, showed off at Tennessee, got drafted probably I think 2nd or 3rd round by the Saints. He came in, I drafted him in fantasy as a rookie late round.
Yeah. And he was a 2-back.
Yeah.
He was a 2-back at the Saints because they still had Ingram.
Yeah. And he still balled out his rookie year. I think he won rookie of the year that year. But I'm just really big on him because it sounds funny, but it's kind of like just the kind of stuff that I like. I was watching a sports science segment back when they used to do it on SportsCenter all the time.
Yeah.
And they did it on Alvin Kamara, and they showed that his like juke and spin move it wasn't the fastest, but it was like the most.
It's almost unbeatable.
It was the most efficient, is what I think is what they said, and he times this so perfectly that it's almost like if it's a one-on-one situation, you're touching grass. If Alvin Kamara's
he's getting
the ball, yeah. So my number 4, Nick Chubb.
He cannot not be on the list, man.
Number 5. This needs to be normalized. All right.
Okay.
This man needs to be normalized. David Montgomery.
He's nasty.
Yep.
He got shut down yesterday.
Yeah. It happens.
That happens. But he's nasty. He ran hard against the Rams defensive line, who can be arguably one of the best defensive lines in the league. I like that pick. And also I'm gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. because I'm agreeing with you. He's my 5. He's my 5 back. Because I think that his production level is almost on par with all of those guys. Just when we look at the end of the season, they're all going to have a couple of the same numbers, but there's going to be one above the rest of them. My number 4 is actually your number 3, Alvin Kamara. They've got another back that's been doing workhorse stuff, and Alvin Kamara has kind of just been catching passes the first 2 weeks. And listen, I'm only going off the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Number 3, Nick Chubb.
I'm surprised you didn't have him 1.
The only reason I don't have him 1 is because Christian McCaffrey, if you've watched his games, is still Christian McCaffrey. Like he's still having electric runs, breaking off for 20, 30 yards. Nick Chubb, I mean, he'll do it in the rest of the season. He has multiple 90 run touchdowns at least every year. So at the end of the year, Nick Chubb possibly could be number 1. But I have him at 3 because I still have a grudge where he fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
He doesn't fumble, dude. He hardly ever fumbles. It'll happen. You're a running back. You're going to fumble at some point. Clyde Edwards-Helaire last night, his very first fumble in an NFL game ever. So it's bound to happen. Awful point of the game to happen, though. But
unfortunate timing. Great play by, I think the guy's name is Owe for Baltimore. Rookie. Outside linebacker.
The rookie showed up last night. The young guy showed up last night for the Ravens defense. Number 2, I'm actually going the King. Say his name.
At 2?
Listen, first week he did nothing. He came back.
Better shock me with this first pick, man.
It's Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I thought you had McCaffrey already. Never mind.
No.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. I said McCaffrey's 1, and then I kind of went to 2. But yeah, number 2 is Derrick Henry. Number 3 was Alvin Kamara. So, yeah. 4 was – no. 4 was Alvin Kamara. 3 was Nick Chubb. 2 is the King. 1 is Christian McCaffrey. But yeah, I have – huh?
I think we can agree that the best running back in the NFL is Lamar Jackson.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be rude and be like –
I'm just playing.
I was going to say number 1, Lamar Jackson, but that is not it.
No, Ravens fans would unsubscribe.
Yeah, but I think that it's got to be Christian McCaffrey, number 1. His first 2 weeks, he's had great numbers. Derrick Henry's only 2 because his first week was bad. He balled out.
It was bad in terms of Derrick Henry, but it was average.
He didn't play good in the first quarter against the Seahawks, but he's the reason why they won that game. Jamal Adams,
200 plus yards all purpose.
Yep. 3 touchdowns, I'm pretty sure too. So and then Jamal Adams was like literally the only person that could tackle him. That man plays his guts out, and he went from probably my 5th on week 1 to number 2 because of his performance in week 2. So yeah, that's my running back. Wide receivers. I'm ready for this one because I think we can go a couple different ways, but you can go first.
Yeah, there's a wide receiver is a very diverse category because you have so many different types of receivers. You've got these guys who are route runners. You got the speedsters. You got the guys who are just going to go up and mosh you. So it's kind of a toss with all these guys. But number 1, DeAndre Hopkins, most reliable hands in football. I mean, you may have a different number 1, but I think we can all agree that D-Hop's.
I debated in my mind putting Devontae Adams, but all of these picks have been week 1, week 2. He's not even top 10 right now, and I mean that's kind of Aaron Rodgers' fault, but he's not top 10 with me right now.
Well, my number 2 is Devontae, and I think that's in part. He's fast. Don't get me wrong, but he's actually got a basketball background, which is very interesting. And if you watch him off the line, he's doing a lot of stuff that mimics a crossover in basketball. That's absolutely shaking these cornerbacks out of their shoes. And then he's just
looking like Brady McGrew out there.
Yeah, Shout out to Braden. Might have him on an episode someday.
Love to have that. Yeah.
Number 3, Stefan Diggs.
Yeah.
Probably,
He had a good game.
in my opinion, probably the best route runner in football.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think the combination of speed and route running ability that he has, and then just that dog mentality, is you can't cover him. You can't cover him.
No.
Number 4, this is a guy that I think his quarterback does a lot for him, but it's Tyree Kill. I think Tyreek wouldn't be as successful if he didn't have a strong arm quarterback like Mahomes, but he's still probably the fastest receiver in the league. And he's a decent route runner. He's got good hands, but Mahomes makes him look really, really good. And number 5, this is probably somebody that you'll have higher than me, but Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Keenan Allen, he is – we said it last week, him and DeAndre Hopkins are the only 2 receivers to have over 100 receptions in the last 3 seasons. So
back-to-back seasons.
Yeah. Consecutively. So that's my top 5.
I want to reiterate this, and you're probably gonna get crucified, but I just want you to understand this is from the production that I've seen in week 1 and week 2. That's it.
Yeah, I know what's coming. I think I know what's coming.
I already said D-Hop is 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Your last guy is my 2 guy. The way that he has been splitting the defense, the cover 2, even being double teamed, because I mean he's that number 1 wide receiver. And the way that he just gets in between it, kind of like we were talking about those broken plays last night.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on, if Herbert has to get out, he finds a way and he gets those chunk yards, and he's I think the genuine only reason they are getting down the field to score. They've had trouble in the red zone a lot this year, 2 games. They can fix that. A lot of room to fix. But I think a lot of those chunk plays are because of him. He might not be getting insane amount of yardage like Mike Williams for the Chargers is getting. Mike Williams is the deep ball guy. Everybody knows that. Yeah. But I think he's a better receiver because of the route running and the quick hands that he has. Hardly drops anything. I think he has this. I think he has the second most reliable hands out of the wide receivers that have been named. DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, his hands are just undescribable, honestly. I mean, we can sit here and talk about so many catches that he's had. Number 3, I'm going to go this is a hard one.
It is. There's a lot of guys you could put up here.
I'm saying Tyree Kill's my 5 just because he honestly got shut down last night.
He did. Marlon Humphrey is a guy that can run stride for stride with him, so it's kind of hard for him to get over.
I mean, my 3 and 4, man. Cooper Kupp has been insane, and I'm going to put it
this year. Since you're basing it on this year, that's a good option.
He's going to be my 3. Did you see how many touchdowns he had yesterday?
Yeah, Matt Stafford loves him.
Yeah.
I mean, he loves him, and Cooper Kupp gets open. He's like Adam Thielen.
Cooper Kupp is probably the best wide receiver on that team. He had 2 touchdowns, 9 receptions, and 163 yards. I'm telling you, man.
Just a day out on the field.
Easy work. I think this guy. I think that a couple of years ago he was a top wide receiver. And then he got hurt. I think that he's 100% healthy now, and he's gonna have probably around 2 touchdowns averaging every game.
With Stafford back there,
yeah. My 4, and only because he had a better week this week, in front of Tyree Kill, is Stefan Diggs. I mean, man, time and time again, he's reliable. He makes catches when it's the most important. The game was really close in the beginning of the Bills and the Miami game, and then Miami kind of lost all the heart of what they were going through because, of course, the injury to Tua. But, I mean, he had a pretty quiet 60 yards, 4 receptions, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Last week he had a lot of yards, no touchdowns, but I think going on the road, the Steelers just had to step up, and I think that's why the Steelers won that game. But, yeah. Those are my top 5 wide receivers. I mean, the wide receivers in the league right now, you can debate that anybody is top 5.
You could throw Thielen top 5. You could throw Justin Jefferson top 5. I mean, it just depends on the day.
Tight end. There's only one right answer for number 1 right now, and if you do not pick the same person that I pick as number 1, we're about to have.
The deal.
Okay.
Here's the deal. You might want to fist fight me after this, but like you said, you're basing your top 5 off week 1 and 2. So I know that you're gonna. I'm not gonna spoil your pick because I already know.
Go ahead. Who is it?
Rob Gronkowski.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He's back like he never left. I mean, this man left the
NFL.
NFL. Lost weight. Went on a whole different life journey.
Yep.
Came back to the NFL, and he's back.
Yep.
He's back.
Last year he didn't look like prime Gronk.
Because they didn't target him last year until the Super Bowl.
This year he looks insane. He looks faster. His hands look better than ever. But there's my 1. When it's my turn, I'll do 2. Who's your 1?
My number 1 is Travis Kelce. It's not Kelsey. It's Kelce.
It's Kelce.
He said it. He said it himself to pronounce it Kelce.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about him. I mean, he doesn't wow you athletically. He kind of puts you to sleep when he's running a route on you. He's sneaky fast. I mean, he'll put you to sleep running a route on you and then just burst out of it and get the separation. And he's always going to catch it. I mean, I barely see that man drop a ball.
Yeah.
And the biggest difficulty defenses have with him, besides covering him, is tackling him.
It's his size. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he carried 2 guys into the end zone last night on his touchdown.
Yep.
He's awesome. I love Travis Kelce.
That's my number 2, by the way. All the same ways that you just said, man. He's my 2.
My number 2 is, especially this season, somebody that's been balling out, but in the past couple seasons, is Darren Waller. Darren Waller for the Raiders. I mean, this man got drafted by Baltimore originally as a wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Didn't work out because he wasn't really fast enough to play receiver. Struggled with a drug problem. Got kicked off the Ravens. Got picked up by the Raiders practice squad, and then some coach in the Raiders organization saw something in him. And praise God that they did, because this guy is
been clean off drugs for 2 years now.
Yep.
And he's one of the top tight ends in the whole entire league.
Best route running tight end, in my opinion.
100% the best route runner. And I think
that's from his receiver background, easily.
Yeah, that's my 3. Who's your 4? We probably got the same equal 4 and 5.
My 3 is Rob Gronkowski, and my 4 is George Kittle. It's George Kittle when he's healthy. He's gonna. I mean, if he's not catching anything, he's gonna impact the offense by run blocking alone.
Yeah.
That man's got heart. Number 5 is probably surprising to some people, but TJ Hawkinson.
That's my number 5. Yep.
I think Jared Goff and him have built up a good rapport, and I hope he has a big year.
He's gonna have a big year. 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
I think he'll have 2 more touchdowns tonight. I think they'll get down. I think they're gonna get down the field quick on their first drive. And he'll catch the first touchdown for the Lions tonight.
Listen, I'm in a fantasy matchup right now where I'm down 18 points, and I have Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson left to play. So
Dang.
We'll see.
Prayers out for you, man. Well, you just basically did all the tight ends, so I'm going to do my O-line first, and you can do your O-line.
All right.
Fair?
Yeah. Fair enough. This tight end is kind of equal.
Yeah. My O-line and this is the only reason why my quarterback is number one. The Buccaneers have the best offensive line. I want to go with the Browns because statistically speaking, the Browns last year and this year have the best O-line. That's the only reason that Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb can break the holes that they can break. And a lot of run plays now are designed for zone runs outside. Mm-hmm. Cleveland is one of the only teams that consistently runs well in the middle of the offensive line. And I know I can't help but make a case, but the Browns are number one. But the only reason that Tom Brady's only been sacked like 2 times this year, the 2 games, that's such a good percentage. 1 sack per game is so good, and they protect him so well. And, I mean, this O-line, it's everyone back from last year, and the Chiefs had a great defensive line last year. People thought that they were one of the best defensive lines last year. They did nothing in the Super Bowl. Nothing. On the Thursday night football last week when they played Dallas, people say that they have one of the most talented defensive lines too. Nothing. The Falcons, the Falcons are trash. They couldn't do anything to Tom. That's why he threw 5 touchdowns, because he has so much time to throw the ball. We'll probably have disagreements on this one, but I think that this O-line is special, and if they keep this O-line healthy and Tom Brady plays for the next 5 years, they're going to be amazing.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, the best offensive line is probably the Bucs as well. To have Tom Brady as your quarterback, you have to have an offensive line. I mean, you don't have another option. No. He's never been mobile. I mean, if you buy him 4 seconds in the pocket, then
he's going to make a play.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
But I think the Browns are up there in terms of offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers' offensive line, very underrated.
Yep.
And this might sound a little biased, but I don't think it is.
Oh, I forgot. We got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My bad.
Washington's O-line. Yeah. I mean,
they gave Heineke a great game.
Yeah.
Clean game. He got sacked a couple times. I mean, the Giants do have a pretty solid defensive line. Did a tremendous job. So my offensive line 2, I guess, is the Browns. 3, I talked about it earlier today in the podcast. I have the Colts. I mean, Quentin Nelson is the leader on that line, and he does a tremendous job of making holes. And he's kept Carson Wentz pretty clean, except for the ankle yesterday. But, I mean, yeah. And then 4, I'm going to give it to the Rams. They've done a great job of protecting Matthew Stafford so far and giving him time to throw. And then 5, I was going to go with the Saints, but then they played yesterday. So it's definitely not the Saints. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. They have 3 rookies on that offensive line. One of them is not technically a rookie. He's technically a second-year player, but he opted out last year because of COVID. That's fine. He's a rookie because he's never played a snap until 2 Sundays ago and then this Sunday. So they've done a great job of protecting Pat Mahomes. I think he's been sacked maybe once or twice. And they've done a pretty good job. There's only been maybe 2 or 3 times where he's had to panic out of the pocket and find a way to get the ball downfield. And his only interception in September is because the line, whose rookies really got tired, didn't do a good job of blocking through an interception. And that's my 5th team.
Yep. That's a good 5 right there.
Yeah.
All
right. Who's your D-line?
D-line, the Buccaneers. I mean, you've got.
That's my number 1 too.
Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea.
Actually, no, that's not my number 1. That's my number 2.
I'm probably leaving out a couple on that D line. You've got Shaq Barrett can come down and edge rush, but he's really kind of an outside linebacker.
JPP is on that line too.
JPP. So they're my number one. My number two, probably the Rams, solely because of Aaron Donald. I mean, what else can you say? My number three, Chicago Bears.
Just keep going. I want to hear 4 and 5.
What's bad about the Bears?
Nothing's bad about the Bears. They have a good defensive line. Just keep going. I want to hear 4 and 5.
Number 4, Cleveland.
That's why I'm tilting my hat, bro.
I know. Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett, Malik Jackson, pretty good. I'd actually probably put them at 3 and put the Bears at 4.
There we go.
5,
there we go.
5 will probably surprise people.
Okay.
Not really. Actually, no. Washington. I'm putting Washington at 2, and then moving everybody else back. So Rams 3, 4 Browns, 5.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. But Chicago could also be interchangeable with. I mean, Carolina's got a good offense or defensive line.
They got a pretty good offensive line too so far. Number 1, Cleveland Browns. Jadeveon Clowney destroys people's running game. Myles Garrett is going to lead the nation in sacks this year. Number 2, Buccaneers. That's fine. Number 3, Washington. Chase Young hasn't had that great of a start this year, but he's
getting double teamed every play. He's getting double teamed.
He's getting double teamed every single play. He's going to be fine at some point. That's my number 3. Number 4, the Rams. I mean, as long as Aaron's there, nothing else you can do. And then number 5, and this is the most underrated defensive line in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals. Their defensive line is absolutely insane. I've watched the defensive line for the Bengals 2 weeks in a row halt any running game out of Dalvin. Dalvin Cook's going to get his. He's Dalvin Cook, one of the best running backs. And I'm surprised neither of us said him in our top 5.
He's floating on the outside.
Yeah. It's only been 2 weeks, and I think the people that have played before him have had better weeks. I think he can be interchanged with Alvin Kamara right now. They kind of have both of the same numbers. But, I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals, man, they shut down David Montgomery and Dalvin Cook, and they have played amazing defense. And really that defensive front has just kind of kept the Bengals floating in the games that they've played so far.
So you took the Browns at number 1.
Yep.
Over number Washington 2. And Tampa.
Yep.
Dude.
You're going to see why. It's only been 2 games. They've played amazing.
Do you hear that out there? I think the people are chanting bias. I think I hear them out there.
Whatever.
What do you want now? Defensive backs / safeties.
Yeah.
Is what I'm grouping mine together into.
I'm just going to do the best secondary defensive player just in one.
Number 1.
We might have the same number 1 though.
Jalen Ramsey. Anything else you say is wrong. Jalen Ramsey.
Defensive MVP this year.
Or love him.
Defensive MVP this year.
And he should have probably won it in other years. Hate him or love him, he's a dog. He's going to clamp up your favorite receiver.
That's what he said.
He goes. I mean, I've been a fan of him since he was a rookie. Yep. Everybody hated him.
The Jaguars, man.
I think he backs up his trash talk. And I hate when guys don't back up their trash talk, but he does every time. And if he gets burnt, like DeAndre Hopkins has had really good games against him, and he admits it. He admits that D-Hop's the best receiver in the game.
Yep.
He clamps up Stefan Diggs, clamps up Devontae Adams, clamps up all these guys. He's number 1, hands down.
We talked about how good the Colts wide receivers were yesterday, even though they're young. Man, he won that game for him. But go ahead and do your 2, 3, 4, 5.
They were playing a lot of zone though yesterday. But my 2.
There's only one answer for 2.
I know you want me to say Denzel Ward.
No, I'm not. No, not Denzel Ward. He's up there, but I don't think so. Not in the
Number
first two
2,
games.
since we're including safeties, don't call me overhyped. No, I don't know what you're trying to signal.
32.
Derwin James.
He's up there. 3-3.
Derwin James is out here. He makes plays. You can put him in a linebacker. You can put him in a safety. Put him in a cornerback. He's another Florida State product.
Mm-hmm.
Those Florida State DBs are built different. Number three for me, probably Marlon Humphrey's a baller. Humphrey's a baller.
He is.
If he was healthy, I would probably say Stephon Gilmore, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting Marlon Humphrey at 4 and Jair Alexander at 3.
Okay.
Then my 5 would probably be Tyrone Matthew.
Okay.
2
That's
picks.
Good. 2 picks. Just 2 pick sixes. Just
yeah. And that's my 5. So
my number 1, we have the same number 1, Jalen Ramsey. He's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Number 5, Jalen Ramsey. Number 5.
Yeah, not number 20.
Not number 20, number 5. Now, my number 2 is Tyrone Matthew. He wowed me over any other safety, defensive back, corner, whatever you want to call it, from week 1 and week 2. Number 3, I think I'll go Derwin James. He's done good. And
he's
then
disruptive.
We've been talking a lot about Stefan Diggs, but he has a brother.
Yep. I know where you're going.
Say his name. Come on. Say his name.
I don't know which one you're going with.
From the Cowboys.
Yeah. I don't know his first name. I just know he's number 7 on the Cowboys.
Okay. So he, so far, has played lights out. He's gotten burned a couple times. That's okay. That's why I have him at 4. If you're a defensive back, you're going to get burned at some point. Okay. But he has had multiple plays versus some of the top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League. Okay. And he literally has got up there and swatted down a couple balls that have just been game savers and game changers. And then number 5, I'm going to go with, who's that kid from the Chargers? Not Xavier Jones. Xavier Howard, maybe?
Oh, it plays on the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Xavier Howard, yeah.
Yeah. He's good, man. He did his best versus Diggs, and that's really why Diggs only had 60 yards.
But how about the young fella from Tampa? 2 pick sixes in one game yesterday. I think his last name was maybe Edwards or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I saw that.
Tampa's got first string talent, 3 strings deep in their defense over there.
Dude, you know who I forgot to add to my top 5 QB list and I just thought of?
Who?
Our boy Herbie.
Nah, he's not top 5 yet.
He's gonna be.
He will be. Give him 3 years. He will be. Out there's
yes, sir.
Duke around.
Well, and we also did I add Derek Carr? I think I added Derek Carr, right?
You did. You had him at like 3.
Okay. So I thought so. Well, those are our top 5, y'all. And I mean that can change. We might have to do another one in the middle or the end of the season.
End of the year, we'll do our top 5 position.
Yeah. So now I brought up Derek Carr for a reason. And after they beat the Steelers yesterday, I texted Lenny. I said, I think we got to have just a short segment right before we end the podcast. Do we have the ring chasing Raiders? Go ahead.
Call them ring chasers.
Let me hear it.
Because a ring chaser by definition is somebody probably by means somebody that's going to go out there and sign like top name free agents like Golden State or New York Yankees in baseball. Okay. But the Raiders,
I'm just asking it as in like
ring chasers.
Do they have a chance?
I'm calling them contenders. I'm calling them contenders because this level of leadership from Derek Carr is something that we've seen since his rookie year, but he just hasn't pieced it together yet. Yeah. And I think Gruden he's finally starting to settle in and get comfortable with Gruden as his coach, because it'd be hard to have Gruden in your ear during a game. Because, I mean, he is probably one of the most brilliant football minds that we've ever seen, ever. And for Derek Carr to be able to understand that lingo and to get what Gruden wants, and Gruden's getting everything that he wants out of Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr just looks unreal. That deep ball to Henry Ruggs, I mean.
I think Henry Ruggs can also be a top 5 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
I mean, their defense, Jonathan Abram at safety is another guy that could be considered a top 5 defensive back. Yeah. Mad Max Crosby down there on the D line. I mean, that guy is insane. They've got a West Virginia product, Nick Kwiatkowski, in at linebacker.
4-4.
Yep. They've got a couple rookie guys on their defensive side.
Playing really good.
Morig's a really good defensive back, rookie defensive back. They've got it together. Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake at running back, two really good running backs.
Josh Jacobs is out, though. He's not playing.
Yeah. They're both Alabama products, though.
Yeah.
Both Bama running backs. Darren Waller at tight end, who's going to get probably 9 to 10 receptions a game.
Yep.
Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards, Hunter Renfrow, though. Let's talk about
Hunter Renfrow.
Gee, man.
Yep. He's had about 40 to 50 yards receiving in the first couple games. That'll get you double-digit fantasy points.
He's a great slot receiver.
He is a great slot receiver. And I think he is the guy that is going to go out and get you wins, sneaky wins. If it wasn't for him and his 50 yards of receiving yesterday, I don't think they win. He's a guy that's going to get open and then
the biggest thing that he does is he picks up first downs. He's that guy that's not going to burn you deep. He's not going to get up and mosh you in the red zone. He's going to pick up little 10-yard chunk plays for first downs. Same thing he did at Clemson. Caught the game-winning touchdown to win the national championship.
Yeah. Here's my take on this. As of right now, 2 games in, okay, they're ring chasers for me. I think they can. I think
they're real contenders.
Contenders, ring chasers, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you stats.
I get what you're saying.
Derek Carr yesterday threw for 382 yards versus the Steelers defense, who everybody week 1 was saying, oh, Josh Allen could do anything versus the Steelers defense. They're back, and they're the real deal.
And then you got Derek Carr just heaving them over top.
Derek Carr is heaving them over top, 382 yards and only 2 touchdowns. Henry Ruggs, 5 receptions. He caught the ball 5 times for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. Darren Waller had 65. Hunter Renfrow had 57 yards. I think this offense is a slept-on electric offense. And I think that they have a real team coached by Gruden who is ready, willing, and able to win games. I think, and the one reason that I honestly think that they're a contender is because they already went through the adversity test. If a team can't get past the adversity test, they're not going far. That's why I'm really nervous about the Browns this year. I put on a face and like Super Bowl. But when adversity or crap hits the fan, they crumble. I hope they get another test sometime this season and they can face the adversity against a big team.
Oh, they will. They'll get a lot of tests.
But I think that this Raiders team, they already faced that adversity test. I think that they're ready and willing and able to get this team rolling for contendency in the AFC. I don't think they'll win the AFC. I really don't.
I would love to see a Mahomes and Derek Carr matchup. I mean, I think that
Not
game would.
not me. Not me. I want to see the Browns.
Well, I'm just talking like any time throughout the season, and I'm pretty sure they play at one point or another. But
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about probably 80-some combined points if we see that game
have to
happen.
be, unless one defense steps up.
Yeah.
Oh, the one person you forgot on defense that I think is the leader on that defensive unit, and it really just brings the whole entire defense together and makes them play well. KJ Wright. He was one of the main pieces of that Legion of Boom team. He was there. He's learned. He's been in the league now for a while. He only had 2 total tackles yesterday, but he had 1 very important tackle for a TFL tackle for loss. And I think that, TFLs, baby. Gotta have him. And he was the main person to really get this defensive unit together. I think that was a smart pick to go out there and kind of get a main leader that you can trust to take care of that Raiders defense. So, I mean, that's what I got on that little segment of ring chasing Raiders. Other than that, man, tonight I just want to give a quick prediction for Lions and Packers.
Packers are going to show up. They're going to show up. There's no way they don't. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't, then I think it doesn't come down to his talent level. I think it comes down to him just being disinterested and putting money before the sport.
And that's not cool. And if I'm a coach, if I'm a GM, I don't want that person on my team.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny how when Rodgers came into the league, you had Brett Favre get really upset about it. And now Rodgers is doing the same thing. And you'd think that he would try to look at it from the perspective of the case that he was in. And does Jordan Love have the talent to take over Aaron Rodgers' spot? No, absolutely not. Rodgers has that spot until he's 45, just like Tom Brady if he wants.
Tom Brady,
But it's Rodgers. I think
it's funny how history repeats itself.
He's got a bigger ego than Tom Brady. Yeah. It is funny, though, how same things happening to Rodgers.
Same things.
He just looks like he could care less to be out there. But
my thing is I think Rodgers and Aaron Jones show up this week. They both had bad game 1 games. But I think this game is close. I think it's a lot closer than what people are expecting and thinking. I think that the Lions show up. Man, they came back on the 49ers after the 49ers had a huge lead. I think Jared
might have the second best running back duo in the league besides the Browns.
Yep.
DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. They're both threats in the receiving game. They're both tough enough to break off decent runs. I mean,
Swift is questionable, and I don't know if he's playing tonight.
Probably will.
But I think that because this is such a big game and they lost already at home, I think that this culture that the Lions have right now, you bring in a Super Bowl contending quarterback in Jared Goff.
People forget that he was good.
And I think that, I mean, it's going to be close. I have the Packers winning, I'm pretty sure. But I think it's going to be close. I think TJ Hawkinson is going to score 2 touchdowns. I think the final score is going to be really close. I think I'm going to go 35-ish to 29. Couple touchdowns in between, kind of get it, couple stops that either defense is going to make. But yeah, Packers bring it out.
Yeah, I'd say Packers. I'd go Packers 31, Lions 21, 31-21. And I think the Lions haven't had a good defense in years.
No.
I mean, it's been years. They lost Jeff Okudah. And I mean, he hasn't played well in the NFL, but you never know. I mean, guys, it's almost a mental thing with some guys, but we'll see. Yeah. I love the old school, like, just brand of football from, like, the Bears, Packers, Lions, like the guys that you always see on Thanksgiving, Christmas. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, man. I think the Lions kind of have that grit in their defense. I think they have the potential to be a good defense. they showed sparks versus the 49ers when the game got close. They made a couple stops that really put them back in the game. But ultimately their defense didn't get it done when it was in regular playing time. I mean, it's a lot different when you're coming back in the game and the 49ers defense is tired. They showed that they could stand up when they were tired, but I don't know. I mean, that's all I got for today. This was fun.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
It's a hypothetical. All right.
Okay.
If Taylor Heineke just gives out, all right.
Okay.
If he doesn't keep up the level of play, rumors are swirling. Cam Newton to Washington. How you feeling?
Didn't I tell y'all that last week?
Yep.
Didn't I say, hey, Cam Newton knows Ron Rivera, took him to a Super Bowl, gave him an MVP.
Why not? Why not us? Why not Washington,
Lord.
man?
Hey, you need to take that sign down. That's racist. The Redskins sign, you need to take that down.
Yeah, I need to do some redecorating. I have a lot of shirts and stuff that
I'm just kidding, man.
Washington shirts, but yeah.
I like that. I think Taylor Heineke's playing his butt off. I like Cam Newton too.
Here's something funny.
Okay.
I did when Madden 22 came out, the first thing I did was a fantasy draft in Madden franchise mode with Washington. And I forgot to draft a quarterback, so it automatically put Cam Newton in after I simulated the end of the draft.
Yeah.
And he broke passing records. Would that happen in real life? Absolutely not. Could Cam come into Washington and ball out? Very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Very possible. Because Washington has the weapons. You know it.
Yep.
Terry
Scary
McLaurin's
Terry.
nasty. Antonio Gibson's nasty. Curtis Samuel's still hurt, but when he comes back, nasty. Logan Thomas.
Nasty.
You know Logan Thomas. Ricky Seals-Jones made a nice grab. Corner of the end zone, Santonio Holmes style.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I like it. I don't think that they should keep it out of their head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Ron Rivera's thinking about it. I'm sure as soon as he got released, I mean, he already had Fitzmagic, so he's probably like, not now. But then Fitzmagic gets hurt. Anything that happens to Taylor Heineke, 100%. Hey, Cameron. Hey, Cameron. Hey, Cameron.
Want to come ball out for Washington?
Cameron, can you come outside and play? All right, man. Well, that was a good one. Hopefully, I'll see you on maybe Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe we can do something about college football. Maybe we can just keep it a Monday thing. Up to you, man.
We'll see.
Anything you want to say?
Just thanks for watching / listening. We're gonna try to start getting these episodes out on YouTube more often. We're doing Zoom calls and recording them, putting them on YouTube. Still uploading the audio, so check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor app, wherever you want, YouTube, whatever's most convenient for you.
Yeah.
But having fun with it. I don't care if we get 3 viewers. I don't care if we get 10 viewers. Yeah. Hopefully we can get 100 viewers. Maybe build off of that. We'll see.
Come on now.
Some
all right, bro. It is.
We'll get it
all right,
done.
Man. Thanks for letting me on here again. Hopefully we can get back here and do it again soon. I'll see you, man.
Sure. See ya.